review. Book one is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the founder of MindsetExplain.com, no other than Mr. Stefan.
Hello, thank you for your warm welcome and having me in your show. I'm thrilled to be invited, so let's have a good conversation.
Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Stefan. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
I'm Stefan and I'm from the Netherlands. I am the founder of Mindset Explained, and Mindset Explained is a platform for young adults. For me, I consider you also a young adult if you have a curious mind, so it's not age related, I think. On this platform, I write a lot of quality articles, inspirational stories, just to help and to motivate or to maybe spark a light in someone, to share information. Um, that's a little bit my goal. So I want to be a guide for young adults and their challenges they have in their young adult life. Besides that, I also have there's a coaching I'm doing on this website. I'm a senior practitioner coach, and yeah, my expertise I have from my life myself as a young adult, but also I gain in this study. Uh, I try to blend into the coaching. Um, yeah, and that's why that's how I hope to help as many as possible people as I can with this platform.
Mr. Stefan, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. For listeners new to the concept, could you briefly explain the essence of the wheel of consent and the four quadrants? Serve,
Mhm.
accept, take, allow.
Yeah, one of the articles I wrote recently, it's about the wheel of consent, and that's a concept I discovered myself not so long ago. But when I discovered this, I found it very intriguing and very interesting. So I decided to learn more about it and to read about it and get myself more familiar with it. The wheel of consent is all about relationships, and it's like a tool you can use for your romantic relationships, the relationships with your friends, with people around you, colleagues, you can name it. Because many people have a certain communication with these people around you in your life. Um, and most of the time, of many times, people saying yes, while they actually mean no, or they're giving or receiving without, because they are feel obligated and not because they really are open for that. And while I'm reading this, I also start to learn more about myself, and I discovered that I'm really good at giving. So I like to give my friends or the close ones around me. I like to give presents, for example, flowers or a present for the birthday, or just because I want to. That's no problem. But if they give something back to me, I feel like, okay, this feels like I have to do something back. I feel guilt. I feel it's hard for me to receive without feeling the need to do something back. So that was for me like an eye opener to dive into that for myself. Why is that, and why is it so difficult for me to receive? And then this wheel of concept was really helpful for that. And also in my coaching, I try to use it if it's needed. It can give people really new insights in their dynamics and how they interact and how they are behaving themselves. But most of the time, of many times, people don't really know where their boundaries are. And the wheel of consent is all about boundaries also. Consent means that you are agreeing on something. Um, and this wheel of consent is built up in four pillars, let's call it like that. It's doing, receiving, done to, and giving. And the most important question in this is this if you receive, it's all about you, it's all about yourself. And if you are giving, it's all about the other person. So that's already a very important difference that brings some more clarity in the schedule, I think. So that's a little bit in a nutshell what I learned till now about the wheel of consent.
Mr. Stefan, it's better to give than to receive, well, they said. What's fundamental distinctions the will makes between the role of giver or receiver and the action?
Hmm. Yeah, it's all about two questions like who is it done for? Is it done for me or is it done for the other person? Or do you do it for the other person? And I think if you dive into the Wheel of Consent, the founder is Betty. I forgot her last name, or that is her last name, I think. And she says, if you look at touch, that's a really good example because how do you can ask yourself this question. You can do an exercise. She has it's the example of touch, and you can ask yourself, how do you want to touch me, or you can ask, how do you want me to be touched? And that's two different questions, but this is how you can play with it. And if you're not used to giving, then you can practice a little bit with giving the other the touch, like a massage or something, and discover how that feels for you. It's a really powerful exercise. I tried it myself too, and this way you also discover, okay, this feels a little uncomfortable for me. This feels a little bit over my boundaries. This is my limit. So you're becoming very aware of your own limits and yeah, your own boundaries. One moment. I have to plug in my laptop, I see. So that was not right on time.
Yes. So, how does the will consent fundamentally redefine or redeepen our conventional understanding of consent beyond just a simple yes or no?
Yeah, so it's making a if you're going to work with this concept, it's creating. You can do it with couples, but you can also do it individually. But if you do it as a couple, for example, then it can create a more safer space for to work in. So you can learn from each other. What is your yes and what is your no? What is your boundary? How far can I go? What do you like? And if the dynamic is like this, there's only one person who is giving all the time and the other person is receiving all the time. Then it would be very interesting to try what will change if you turn it around, and what that will do with the dynamic. And most of the time, that is very positive. Yeah.
Very positive indeed. What are the core skills or capacities the will helps individuals develop, particularly around self awareness and atonement to others?
Good question. I think if you take the example of people pleaser, I think if you become aware of your urge to please people, then this wheel of consent can bring this up to the surface. And it's also good to know why you are people pleasing. Is it because you most of the time people pleasing happens because you want to keep the other person satisfied? So it's all about the other person, and it's not about your own needs. So if you're not aware of your own needs, and if you're not aware of yourself that you're people pleasing, yeah, then you cannot change it. And I think change can only happen if you are aware of something. So you have to make the unconscious conscious before you can change it. And I think this model can help you on a very structured way to bring that up to the surface and to work it and to turn it around also and to get it out of your system.
Indeed, systematize. How does understanding who is this for question or the questions that transform how we approach interactions or both physical and non-physical?
Yeah, indeed. So there are like four things that are distinguished in this schedule. It's serving, accepting, taking, and allowing. So serving means I do it for you. Accepting means you do something for me. Taking means I do something for me with your permission. And allowing means you do something for you and I allow it. So it sounds very simple now how I say this now, but there's of course much more layers behind this and much more depth in this. But this is in a nutshell, and then in a total overview the most important directions you can go into this.
Very well said, Mr. Stefan. Very well said.
Thank you.
Many people struggle with guilt or fear when saying no or setting limits. How does working within the wheel framework help elevate these challenges?
Yeah, I think it's also for myself as one of the most important lessons to know, okay, what is a real no and what is a real yes? And then it's really important to check in with yourself. So if you do something for someone, for example, you have an act of service, you do something, you give flowers or something, or you do a nice gesture. The most important thing you can do is afterwards is check in with yourself. How does it feel for me inside? So what is my gut feeling saying? Is it giving me a good feeling or not? And many people are living in their heads, and just like myself, I also have the tendency to go into my head, but it's really important to check in with your body, because your body tells you more information and more accurate information about what it does with you. And if you feel in your gut, okay, this gives me a good feeling, it gives me energy, it gives me um, like positive endorphin, like happiness, then you know, okay, this was really something I want to do. But if you feel on the other side, yeah, you feel like, yeah, like it's strangling yourself. It's like it's not it's not giving you a good feeling. Then you did something that was not what you really want to do, and that is a really strong signal that you have to listen to. So my advice is always not only listen to your head, but also use the rest of your body, because your gut feeling is most of the time right.
Indeed, Mr. Stefan. And how does distinguishing between accepting and allowing empower individuals in setting boundaries?
If you allow if you allow the other person to do something for you, then you create also like a space for that person to it's like that's the consent. You give the permission to do something to you, and without consent you cannot do anything without that it's good, because if you do it without consent, then you are going out of the circle of consent, and that means that you are working in the shadow side of this model, and that's where you don't want to be. So I think it's really important to create a safe space and to create trust between two people, between the partner or between your colleague or your manager or whatever it is, where you are allowing the other person to do things, and also the other way around. The other person allows you to do things. So it's all about safety. It's about trust. It's about boundaries, and it's all about checking in with each other. What is good and what is right for me, but also for the other person.
Mr. Stefan, let's talk about fostering emotional connection and trust. How does clarifying desire and intention through the will create a foundation for deeper emotional connection and intimacy?
Yeah, I think emotional intelligence is something that really can help your relationships. So if you are, and it all starts with awareness. So it all starts with how good do you know yourself? Because if you don't know yourself, you can also not share your love with other people. You cannot bring someone further than you are, and that's also in coaching. It's like that, but also in your normal interactions in your daily life. So it's all about working on yourself, knowing exactly where you are, what is good for you, how you function, what lights up your fire, what is a clear no for you, and what do you bring to the table. And if you know yourself, then you can be authentic. And I think if you can be authentic, then you can be very powerful. Then you can stay true to yourself, and then you can be the best version of yourself. That sounds like a cliche, but I think that's the way to do it, because then you are true to yourself, and then you can also be the best version in that relationship. and then you can also be more receiving and more giving to the other person.
Mr. Stefan, as the founder of Mindset, explain what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Sorry, I didn't catch the last part.
What are your short-term and long-term goals?
My short-term goals are at this moment I'm focusing really on what keeps my mind busy and where do I want to write articles about. So I like to write, and that's really something that gives me energy, that gives me a good feeling. That's a real yes for me. So that gives me a lot of energy. So I try to focus on writing quality articles where I hopefully someone can help with for the readers. And my long-term goal is to expand this platform to become more a community for young adults, where people can be safe, be seen, feel trust, that I can share with other young adults who are maybe have the same challenges in life, so that there's like a community where we can help each other and where we can make a real difference in life. So I think my purpose, it sounds a little bit fluffy maybe, but I think my purpose would be if I can make a change in someone's life, or maybe a very small change, then my goal is already accomplished. So that's a little bit where Mindset Explained stands for.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Stefan, and looking forward for more success.
Thank you very much.
And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to create their own business like this?
Very good question. I think what helped me a lot, and what I also advise for other people, is try or not do not be scared to ask for help. Dare to be vulnerable and dare to reach out to people, because sometimes you need some help from other people to get a little bit further than you can get at your own. And I think if you can share your knowledge, if you can have like a tribe or like a mastermind group or a group of people that know what they're talking about in their specialty or the area of expertise, then it can help you too as building a business. So reach out to other people, and you can see that, yeah, that magical things can happen indeed. Yeah.
Thank you for your advice, Mr. Stefan. And let's talk about the practical application and impact. What does a simple practical exercise using the wheel look like that couples or individuals could try to start building these skills?
I think what really is a very good first step is, okay, when you go outside now, tomorrow, if you go to work or you are with other people, try to observe as a third person the interactions, what's happening, what is really happening, and where am I in this wheel of consent. Try to see if you can discover some patterns within yourself. Do you have the tendency to please maybe, or do you have the tendency to not receiving, or is it hard for you uh, to give something to someone else, or yeah, it can be many things. So I think a very good first step would be observe yourself in daily situations and try to find a pattern for yourself. Yeah,
Mr. Stefan, can you recommend a book that influenced your journey?
I have this book. I don't know if you can see it. It's from Bassel van der Kolk. Is also from the Netherlands. And the Dutch name of the book is Traumasporen. I think the English name is The Body Keeps the Score. And it's all about trauma and how it gets fit into your body. And it also explains that not only talking can solve these traumas, but also the effect on the body, that the trauma gets stuck into your body if you don't work with it. And that has very big consequences on the long term in your life. So anything can be a trauma. It doesn't have to be that you have to be in war or that something very terrible happened to you. Trauma can also be that you, as a child, fell off the pavement and that you scratch your knee or something. That can be already a small trauma that can stay in your body and that lives with you for the rest of your life if you don't look at it and don't work with it. So what I learned from this book is that you should not only look at the cognitive side of your mind and your whole system, but you should look also at the body indeed. So there's more information in the body stored than it is in the head, and I think it's really important to do some body work too next to the coaching or therapy that you're considering.
Thank you for your recommendation, Mr. Stefan. Beyond intimate partnerships, where else have you seen the Wheel of Consent framework create a significant positive change?
I think within my work environment, I saw there was like a dynamic between in my team that there was not very much safety because the manager was not really open for feedback and was only sending. So the dynamic is there also to be distinguished that there was only one person sending but not receiving. Um, so I think there the wheel of consent was also very clear for me that it happened there. So it was the dynamic in the team, and beyond that, it was the safety that was lacking, the trust. So I think first, before you can change the dynamic, you have to work on these concepts within a team.
Again, Mr. Stefan, very well said.
Thank you.
Very well said. How has understanding and practicing the will impacted your own personal relationships and sense of self?
I think I already said before a little bit, but I was a little bit people pleasing and I found it really hard to receive things. So I think becoming more aware of this, I also now am more open for receiving gifts or receiving things without feeling the urge or the obligation to do something back. And I think that's a really big change for me. Yeah.
Mr. Stefan, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcasts, people, my other podcasts, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and book 101 review in fifth season. Comedy 101 is in second season, and food 101 in a fifth season as well. Geography
Nice.
101 in its fourth season, and my baby podcast, Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, Music 101, and Movie 101 Review in its fourth season, too. Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcasts. Mr. Stefan, looking ahead, what potential do you see for principles of the wheel of consent to influence broader cultural conversations about boundaries, consent, and healthy relating?
That's a deep question, I think. Just like me, I never heard of this wheel of consent before recently. So I think it should be more put into practice. And I think it can be very beneficial, not only on personal relationships, but also maybe on a broader global stage, I could imagine. But yeah, I think if people could be more creating consent between each other, then we already one very good step in the right direction. And yeah, I think we have a long way to go worldwide, but this wheel of
Mhm.
consent can be very helpful to put it more into methodology and to be more structured in the approach. Yeah.
Long way to go, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Stefan, the Mindset Explained. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business itself?
Yeah, mindsetexplain.com. It's the website to go, and I would say definitely check it out and see what we can do for you. If you want to have a free coaching session, press the red button and make an appointment, and then we can have a quick conversation and see if we are a good match and if I can travel along with you on your journey. That's called life. Yeah.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Stefan because if you support him, more and more and more empowering coaching to come. So, Mr. Stefan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me, and have a good one.
More to come, people. See you soon.